Coming up next on this special edition of Arizona Horizon, we'll visit a local fitness center designed for people with disabilities. We'll see what a Phoenix nonprofit is doing to help Native Americans in need of housing and other critical services. And we'll hear from the leader of a Valley nonprofit dedicated to improving the health and well-being of veterans in need. Those stories next on this special Giving and Leading edition of Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to this special Giving and Leading edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Arizona Bridge to Independent Living is a nonprofit that provides a wide variety of services to people with disabilities. One of its newest offerings is the Virginia G. Piper Sports and Fitness Center. The $13 million facility opened just over a year ago. Funding for the center came from private donations, with over $5 million from the 2006 Phoenix bond election. Producer David Major and photographer Steve Snow take us to the fitness center, which is located near Light Rail at 50th Street and Washington.
The Virginia G. Piper Sports and Fitness Center is a sports and recreation center designed for people with disabilities. We've got a 4,500 square foot facility. It's got 2 basketball courts. We have a pool. We've got a running track. We have a rock wall.
Just off the main entrance is a rotunda featuring larger-than-life photographs of athletes at the top of their games. It sets a tone for what's possible with a lot of hard work and determination.
This center has helped me train. It's helped me put on weight, which was the hardest thing. I mean, before I weighed 98 pounds. I'm 20 pounds heavier now.
23-year-old Joe Jackson, an ASU engineering student, is using the gym to train for wheelchair rugby. Jackson injured his spinal cord in 2005 playing football for Hamilton High. And while his football days are over, he says he never could have imagined life without sports.
No, I've been competitive all my life, and being an athlete helps in everything you do. You have that competitive drive and want to finish school, play sports, whatever, live life.
The Sports and Fitness Center, they call it the SPOFIT, makes it easier for people with all types of disabilities to live healthier, more active lives. They can climb a rock wall, go swimming, and participate in all kinds of fitness classes and sports, both casual and competitive. A membership costs $35 a month, but discounts are available for people on fixed disability incomes. And families are encouraged to work out together.
This is one of a kind in the western United States, really. Unfortunately, your average gym doesn't cater to people with disabilities, and so you end up with perhaps a facility that's, accessible to get in the door and ADA compliant, but unfortunately, people don't go to fitness facilities to use the bathrooms or to use, the doors.
Gabe Gerbic is the fitness coordinator. He helped design the gym and select the equipment.
So we wanted to design the entire facility around accessibility so that no matter who came through the door, it'd be universally accessible.
People with disabilities no longer have to sit on the sidelines. The SPOFIT gives everyone an opportunity to exercise, and it puts athletes like Joe Jackson back in the game.
My goal now is to, I'm going to say 2016, make the Olympic team, Paralympic team.
And here with more on the Fitness Center is Phil Pangrazio. He's president and CEO of Arizona Bridge to Independent Living. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. As far as ABIL, Arizona Bridge to Independent Living, what exactly are we talking about?
Well, ABLE is a center for independent living. There's hundreds of centers for independent living all over the country that were originally established by the Rehab Act in 1973. And, we started in 1981 to provide a real core set of services, independent living skills, peer support, peer mentorship, information referral, and to do advocacy. And the independent living movement really was the disability rights movement that pushed for the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so Centers for Independent Living really were born out of the disability rights movement to provide those basic services for people with disabilities. But from there, many centers like ABLE moved on to lots of other services like doing home accessibility modifications, offering personal assistance services, offering employment services, Social Security, work incentives, counseling. So we've really expanded their array of services to people with disabilities.
And I know the fitness center is now 50th Street in Washington. It's located on the campus or within this Disability Empowerment Center. What exactly is that?
We conceived of this idea more than a decade ago to bring together a group of nonprofit organizations, all 501c3s, that serve people with disabilities. And we thought that to kind of create an incubator, so to speak, and an environment where all of these organizations, it could make services to people with disabilities more convenient, more of a one-stop shopping place to get services, and to create more collaboration opportunities and create the synergies that that bringing us all together under one roof would do. So we've got organizations like the Spinal Cord Injury Association, the Brain Injury Association, Raising Special Kids, the MS Society, the Valley Center of the Deaf, Arizona Autism United, the Statewide Independent Living Council, and of course ABLE and a few others. And so all of us together have really brought together a lot of different services.
And how important now is this fitness center to getting all of those services and all of those folks in there working out? You got swimming pools, you got basketball courts, you got the whole nine, rock climbing walls, the whole 9 yards.
We do. The Sports and Fitness Center definitely was the last piece of the puzzle to put in there, and again make it another provide another reason for people to come to the Disability Empowerment Center and then enjoy the Virginia G. Piper Sports and Fitness Center. And we do. There's 2 basketball courts, the runner's track, rock climbing wall, the 7,500 square foot fitness center with all, every piece of equipment in there is accessible for folks with disabilities, but also usable by people who can walk and can ambulate. So it's not all for folks with disabilities necessarily.
Now, I read that this is one of only 2 such centers in the United States, and you're telling me that maybe it's really the only one of its kind.
It's the only one of its kind that has combined this disability services campus with a sports and fitness center. There is a sports and fitness center in Birmingham, Alabama called Health South. Actually built the facility, and they're actually serving as the Paralympic training site for the United States Paralympic programs, and it is a big facility. It's over 100,000 square feet. Our facility is 45,000 square feet. It is a little bit smaller on the sports end of it, but we also have the nonprofit organizations piece of it.
We only got about 30 seconds left. Where do you go from here? What's next?
We want to get the word out so that people will come down and use the facility. We already have over 800 people that are members of the sports center. We just want people to know about it. We think we're still getting people to learn about that we're here. We're at 50th Street in Washington, and we want people to come down and use the beautiful facility because it's gorgeous.
We want to hear from you. Submit your questions, comments, and concerns via email at arizonahorizon@asu.edu.
This next nonprofit has been helping Native Americans in the Phoenix area for the last 40 years. Native American Connections provides behavioral health, affordable housing, and community development services to thousands of families and individuals each year. Diana Yazzie Devine is its president and CEO. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Native American Connections. Give us a better definition.
Well, as you said, we were founded 40 years ago to serve the Native population that was moving into the Phoenix area at that time. Unemployment rates were high in tribal communities. They didn't have access to higher education. And so you saw this migration of Native American people coming into Phoenix. And when they got here, they found that they were pretty socially isolated and culturally isolated. And so Native American Connections was founded at that time to really support the behavioral health needs and the housing needs of Native people coming to the Phoenix area, disconnected from their families and their culture.
Indeed. Has that goal over the years changed, or is that still pretty much the target?
It's almost exactly the same. We're a much larger organization. We have 18 service sites all throughout central Phoenix, and we're still supporting Native American people. And right now, we serve all populations, too. And affordable housing, in the Housing First model that the mayor was talking about, serving the homeless population, supporting them when they have those needs that they have around substance abuse, mental health issues, domestic violence. And so we still really do pretty much the same thing. We use a lot of traditional healing practices, too.
I was going to ask about that, the culturally appropriate method of these kinds of services. Talk to us about that.
Well, you might be surprised if you knew we're actually operating sweat lodge healing ceremonies right in the heart of downtown Phoenix.
Interesting.
Right on 3rd Avenue and Roosevelt. 2 times a week we start the sweat lodge fire, and in order to promote community wellness and healing, the total mind, body, spirit, where a person really needs to be healthy in their mind, healthy in their body, and healthy in their spirit, those cultural ceremonies are still helping to do that right in the heart of downtown Phoenix.
It looks like it. The importance of honoring culture and the importance of that holistic approach, is that something that was there from the beginning, or again, something that developed?
Well, it was supported by the founders, but it was important by everybody else who came after that, knowing that those ceremonies have been anchoring and grounding Native people for thousands of years. And it is a best practice. You know, we always talk about how do we treat people in the best practice method, whether it's research-based, whether it's successful. And, you know, those old practices have been around for a long time, and they really help support Native people in that holistic model of healing.
Is there a way to quantify the results, a way to say, look, here, I can show you that the X, Y, and Z is really working better than maybe some alternative methods?
Well, we can show that through the stability of people as they move through certain levels of care, and then they go into, the mayor was talking about permanent housing. So if we can connect somebody who is probably homeless on the street, you might have a woman who is using methamphetamine, she was pregnant, she was going to have a baby that would have been addicted to meth and had to go to the county hospital. Instead, she came into care. We were able to provide her, wrap her with health care services, house her, and then she went on to find permanent housing. We were able to provide job development services that help women re-enter back into the community. This woman is now, her children are going to, you know, enrolled in school. She's in stable housing. She's got a job. She's, you know, a taxpayer, and she's being supported in her cultural environment. So many times Native American people will feel disconnected or lonely or isolated, and here they get to remain in that cultural community and feel that support right here in Phoenix.
Now, it sounds like there is 18 locations, service locations, and the idea of a one-stop service, kind of the big kahuna there. Talk to us about that, because that sounds like quite the deal you got going.
In 2005, the Phoenix Indian Center, Native American Connections, Native Health, and now People of Color Network, we came together and said, you know what, our people are having a difficult time trying to find these services. They're not people that have isolated problems, but they're people that have, when they come in for health care, they also need jobs, they also need housing. And we said, well, why don't we come together, and we found a building on Central. It's 4520 North Central, right across from Central High School at the light rail stop at Campbell and Central. And now we have 7 nonprofits all operating out of that same site, so they can get job services and dental services, medical services, behavioral health, and there's an alternative high school for Native American youth. And so it's a center where they come in maybe looking for a single service, and they get wrapped in a variety of services.
My goodness. Now, the operating budget I read was reported at somewhere around $8 million or so. Is relatively accurate there?
It's about $9 million,
$9 million.
over $9 million now.
How are you getting that money? How are you raising it?
Well, I think we have a really good strategy. I think we have a very diverse strategy. Just like anyone else, you want your money to come from a variety of different places. Some of our rents come from, some of our income comes from rents that people pay in our affordable housing communities. Some of it comes from government grants. We're certainly supported by the foundations. There's a lot of foundations that are, hate to mention one because there's many that support us. So we have, fee-for-service contracts with tribal communities, government contracts, but a pretty wide portfolio of the way our money comes to us. Allows us to be a little bit more stable. If something goes away, you have other sources of income.
And indeed, I read where you described it as embracing the entrepreneurial spirit. Talk to us about that.
Sure. Well, I think Native American Connections itself is we are one of the larger nonprofit affordable housing developers. So Divine Legacy on Central, which is right next door to our community service center. Divine Legacy is the first affordable housing community to be LEED Platinum certified. So we have the highest, that's a green standard of certification. And so when we build our affordable housing communities, we actually build from the low-income housing tax credit program. The state Department of Housing has issued future tax credits from the federal government, and they're then allocated to our nonprofits or other developers, and we sell them to investors who need future tax credits. So we're actually building with private equity investment rather than using government funds or creating debt, and that's how we create affordable housing and keep our rents low for families that want to live in a community where they can stabilize their family with low rents.
That sounds like something that would have been a dream about 40 years ago. And you've been with the organization now 33 some odd years.
I have been.
You have to feel like you're making a difference. I mean, when you look back, you have to feel good about what's been going on with this organization.
Our employees say that we are, our organization, some of our services, they're life-saving services. We touch some of the community's most vulnerable people, the women that need to be in care when they're pregnant, domestic violence, homeless youth. We have a homeless transitional program named Home Base for homeless youth. And, we're out on the streets outreaching them and bringing them in off the streets into care. A lot of those kids were the ones that transitioned out of foster care and found themselves homeless on the streets of Phoenix. And so our employees, our board of directors, the community, I think we really make a difference in people's lives. We change lives.
Sign up for 8's weekly e-news. You'll be among the first to know what's on Arizona Horizon the coming week. It's a fast and easy way to stay connected to what's on the Arizona Horizon. Sign up at azpbs.org/Arizona Horizon.
The Veterans Medical Leadership Council helps Valley veterans with a variety of financial and health care needs. I recently spoke with VMLC President and retired Air Force Colonel Sam Young. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much, Ted. Good to be here.
Let's start with the basics. Veterans Medical Leadership Council. What is it?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting name, but essentially it's a volunteer organization consisting of volunteers who are veterans who've served during time of combat that have come together to kind of give back to those veterans that need some assistance. It started in 1999, was put together essentially through the VA Medical Center, volunteers to kind of help articulate and encourage initiatives to help veterans, and then ultimately to help sponsor the parade and then follow on to help the troops that have fallen on hard times.
Was it the kind of thing where not necessarily outside voices, these are veterans for the most part here, but was it a kind of thing to maybe just get a different viewpoint on things there at the VA?
Yeah, people that had been there and done that, it's very hard to articulate what the military is about in the civilian community, so there was some identification with that, and of course you have one large Veterans Medical Center which handles about 87,000 patients, so The veterans can kind of talk a different language.
Indeed, and they can also help with fundraising. How much that goes on there with VA, with the patients and the programs, how much does that fall outside of maybe state and federal funding?
Well, a large part that has to do with the individual needs of the people. Say, for example, paying of utilities, or somebody's car that breaks down, or sometimes you need to put food on the table, or you need the clothing, or whatever that happens to be. So that's one category for the actual veterans themselves. And then you also have other initiatives. For example, in the state home, we were able to put together a project to remodel the outside patio so it was safe. And we came together to help do that. There are little initiatives like that, but as you indicate, things that are outside the federal and state government
Things
funding.
that kind of fall through the cracks there and that occur in the day-to-day living.
That's correct.
Some of the programs, you kind of refer to this, the Returning Warrior program, that deals with things like jobs, getting your car fixed, these sorts of things.
Yeah, the Returning Warrior program is with 911 and certainly with Iraq and Afghanistan, we started to find some of the veterans that were coming back that were in need of support. So as that number grew from 3,000 to 6,000 to 9,000 to 15,000, we put together a program called Returning Warriors, and it's fairly unusual in that we deal directly with the social workers at the VA hospital. Now, it's all anonymous. We don't want to know who needs help and who doesn't. But the social worker works with that particular veteran to see what their needs are, see what funding is available for them, and we provide a little bit of a financial safety net. The fact that there's only 18 of us, we're able to cut a check in hours to help somebody that may be evicted, or somebody that they're shutting off their utilities, or their car's broken, they can't get to work, or they can't make a medical appointment, or something like that.
How common are those kinds of things?
Very common. Just in the first 6 months, we were able to raise and spend over $200,000 just this year. So we consider veterans, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's Iraq, Afghanistan, we reach out to all of them. But we rely primarily on the social workers at the VA Medical Center. It's a great partnership.
And for some, of course, they need more assistance than others. Support to homeless veterans, I know you're involved with that as well. And again, everything from dental care to maybe just providing a way to have a reunion with their families.
Well, that's exactly right. We worked with U.S. Air. We had a veteran from World War II that was in Iwo Jima, and that he wanted to participate in a flight to the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C., but he couldn't go because he needed a caregiver. So we were able to fund the caregiver to escort him to satisfy a lifelong dream for him.
Wow, that's fantastic. As far as community advocacy, I believe we first met with a dedication for the Herrera Way.
Sylvester Herrera, yes.
Yes, and that was there on 3rd Street. It's 3rd Street, correct?
Yes, correct.
Those kinds of things you're involved with as well.
Yeah, we really kind of reach out and touch whether, whoever needs help. For example, the stand down. There's an annual stand down that's run by a specific organization, and we help support financially, and then we volunteer to go down. And this last year, they helped almost 1,300 veterans that were essentially living on the street, homeless, or those that needed assistance, whether it's a haircut, it's a good meal, registration through the VA, whatever it happens to be.
And the state veteran home, that needs improvements too. That needs some help along the way, and you provide support.
Yeah, we go to them and say, how can we help, essentially. We were able to help in one case when they needed kind of like those special insulated covers for the meals. So we try to give back wherever we can, and in some cases we can make a difference.
I noticed as well that women veterans were a focus, and sometimes people forget that there are needs there as well.
True. There's roughly 46,000 female veterans in the state, and a lot of times the homeless female veterans kind of like go unnoticed. Mm-hmm. We were involved with a place called Emily's Place, and essentially that was to kind of like take an existing facility and paint some walls and work with the city and also Veterans First to put together that for some of the homeless women.
Biggest challenge now VMLC is facing? What are you seeing out there?
The challenge is that the conflicts aren't on the front page anymore. but the veterans are.
Yes.
And it's a 365-day requirement.
When things quiet down, those veterans are still there, but the interest seems to fade.
You're exactly right.
Well, good luck with the organization. It sounds like you're fighting the good fight, as it were, and continued success. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And that is it for this Giving and Leading edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Virginia G. Piper Charitable Trust, committed to changing lives and strengthening community through investments in nonprofits and strategic initiatives. More information at pipertrust.org.